Both guys were amazing. Brandon's big time, second year player, but plays like a 10th year guy. I mean, he's just got so much poise and confidence. And
What Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr just announced about Draymond Green shocked everyone. One saw this coming. It was Kerr's extraordinary declaration about Draymond Green following the team's crucial Game 4 victory over the Houston Rockets on Monday night. In a statement that has sent shockwaves throughout basketball circles, Kerr proclaimed Green as the best defender I've ever seen in my life, a claim that carries immense weight given Kerr's storied career alongside some of basketball's greatest defensive players. This bold assertion comes just days after Green was controversially passed over for the 2024-25 Defensive Player of the Year award, finishing third in the voting behind winner Evan Mobley and runner-up Dyson Daniels. The Warriors secured a nail-biting 109-106 win against the Rockets to take a commanding 3-1 lead in their playoff series, with Green providing the decisive defensive stop in the game's final seconds. With only 13 seconds remaining on the clock and Golden State clinging to a 1-point lead, Rockets coach Ime Udoka made the bold decision to target Green directly, having center Alperen Sengun drive one-on-one against the Warriors' defensive anchor. In a moment that encapsulated Green's defensive brilliance, he forced Sengun into a contested shot that clanked off the rim and into Jimmy Butler's hands for a game-sealing rebound. This clutch defensive stand prompted Kerr's remarkable post-game assessment. He's the best defender I've ever seen in my life, and he rises to the occasion on top of being a great defender. He's an incredible competitor. Kerr told reporters after the game, "I've seen it for 11 years. Game on the line. Draymond making a stop. It's like having Steph Curry take the shot." When asked to quantify his confidence in Green securing a stop with the game on the line on a scale from 1 to 100, Kerr didn't hesitate. "I feel like 100. What makes Kerr's statement so surprising is who he used to play with. During his NBA career, he shared the court with some of the best defenders ever, like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and Rasheed Wallace. These guys won many awards for their defense and are legends of the game. Despite this illustrious list of former teammates, Kerr now places Green above them all as a defensive force. For context, Rodman was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and 7-time All-Defensive First Team selection, while Pippen made the All-Defensive First Team 8 times. Jordan, beyond his offensive prowess, was a 9-time All-Defensive First Team selection and won Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. Duncan, meanwhile, was a 15-time All-Defensive Team selection. The timing of Kerr's comments has led many NBA analysts to interpret them as a subtle critique of the recent Defensive Player of the Year voting results. Green finished third in the DPOY race despite his central role in the Warriors' defensive schemes. Cleveland's Evan Mobley won the award, with New Orleans' Dyson Daniels finishing second. Throughout his career, Green has established himself as a defensive force, winning the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2017 and being named to the NBA's All-Defensive Team 8 times. However, Kerr's recent comments elevate Green's defensive legacy to unprecedented heights, placing him in a category above all others in the coach's estimation. Monday night's Game 4 was marked by intense physicality and numerous confrontations. Green was involved in multiple scuffles and incidents with Rockets players, including notorious agitator Dillon Brooks. The Rockets had employed unique tactical approaches against Green throughout the series, but these strategies proved less effective in Game 4 as Green delivered a brilliant defensive performance. Green's statistical impact in the game wasn't particularly eye-catching. He finished with 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 personal fouls. However, as has often been the case throughout his career, Green's value transcended the box score, with his defensive leadership and timely stops proving decisive in the Warriors' victory. The game itself was an absolute nail-biter at the Chase Center. As one report described it, the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets took it down to the wire. The Warriors managed to squeeze out a tight 109-106 victory in the process. The win gives the Warriors an important 3-1 stranglehold on the series, though the team surely knows the job is not over from past experiences. Several Warriors players made key contributions to the win. Jimmy Butler was noted as having a great game, while rookie Brandon Podziemski stepped up significantly. However, it was Green's defensive stop in the final seconds that sealed the victory and prompted Kerr's remarkable proclamation. Despite the recent DPOY snub, Green has maintained a gracious public stance regarding Mobley's victory. According to reports, Green had nothing but nice things to say about Evan Mobley's win. However, he did express displeasure with Cavaliers guard Darius Garland for taking shots at him while defending his teammates' DPOY victory, something Green felt wasn't warranted. The Warriors-Rockets series has been marked by intense physicality and strategic adjustments. Game 4 featured multiple scuffles and incidents, with Green often at the center of these confrontations. The Rockets had been implementing a unique tactic against Green throughout the series, though it wasn't as successful in Game 4 as the Warriors took control. Kerr emphasized the importance of Green's continued defensive excellence as the Warriors prepare for Game 5 in Houston, with a chance to close out the series on Wednesday. To close out the Rockets in the first round, the Warriors will need Green to continue defending at this level in Game 5, one report noted. The unexpected nature of Kerr's statement, comparing Green's defensive stops to Stephen Curry's legendary shooting, has reignited debates about Green's place among the all-time great defenders in NBA history. By equating a defensive stop by Green to a shot by Curry, widely considered the greatest shooter in basketball history, Kerr has placed Green's defensive impact in the highest possible context. Kerr's comments also highlight the special 11-year relationship between coach and player. Since taking over as Warriors head coach in 2014, Kerr has witnessed Green's defensive brilliance firsthand through multiple championship runs. This longevity has given Kerr a unique perspective on Green's defensive abilities and competitive fire, qualities that have been essential to Golden State's dynasty. With the Warriors flying high and now just one win away from advancing to the second round, Green's defensive leadership remains as crucial as ever to their championship aspirations. As the team looks to close out the series in Houston, Kerr's extraordinary endorsement of Green's defensive prowess serves as both a recognition of past excellence and a rallying cry for the challenges that lie ahead.
Well, the Avs and Nuggets now turn their attention to the playoffs. The Nuggets will start on Saturday. Today, we heard from the team president, Josh Kroenke. First time he's been talking out loud about the firings of head coach Michael Malone. And
Denver Nuggets Vice Chairman Josh Kroenke has sent shockwaves through the NBA community with his stunning press conference on the controversial dismissals of head coach Michael Malone and general manager Calvin Booth. What was intended as damage control has instead left many viewing his comments as a public humiliation of the coach who delivered Denver its first ever NBA championship. In a nearly 30-minute media session Monday, Kroenke made the jaw-dropping admission that he had been contemplating firing Malone since November, just months after the coach led the franchise to its first title in 47 years. The timing of the dismissal, with only 3 games left in the regular season and the playoffs looming, has left basketball analysts and fans alike struggling to make sense of the decision. I think at the very end of the day, it was a very tough decision because of the amount of respect that I personally have and that we as an organization have for what those gentlemen did for us while they were here, Kroenke said before delivering the bombshell. To be frank, neither of them deserved it, and so for that, I apologize.
I think at the very end of the day, it was a very tough decision because of the amount of respect that I personally have and that we as an organization have for both of what those gentlemen did for us while they were here.
This extraordinary admission has many questioning Kroenke's leadership. How can an executive fire a championship-winning coach who didn't deserve it and then publicly acknowledge this fact? The basketball world is buzzing with reactions to what some are calling one of the most bizarre press conferences in recent NBA history.
And, you know, to be frank, neither of them deserved it. And so for that, I apologize. For my position,
Kroenke revealed he nearly pulled the trigger on firing Malone twice before. First around Thanksgiving when the team was off to an 8-6 start, and again during the February All-Star break. In the latter case, he was deterred only because the team was in the midst of an 8-game winning streak. What would be crazier, Kroenke asked reporters, me doing what I did last week or doing it on an 8-game win streak?
what would be crazier me doing what I did last week or doing it on an 8-game win streak.
The vice chairman went on to dismiss the significance of that winning streak, noting that only one victory came against a playoff-bound team. I think that those 8 games masked a trend that was going on behind closed doors that ultimately started to really affect the end of our season. He explained.
I'd have to go back and look, but I think that those 8 games masked a trend that was going on behind closed doors that ultimately started to really affect the end of our season, and that's why I jumped the way I did.
Kroenke alluded to tension between Malone and Booth as the primary driver behind his decision, suggesting their discord had created a toxic environment within the organization. According to multiple sources, the coach and GM had long clashed over roster philosophies, with their relationship deteriorating to the point where it began affecting team operations. I can see certain trends behind the scenes with the group, Kroenke said, and those were worrisome. What makes the situation even more awkward is that immediately following the dismissals, the Nuggets won all 3 of their remaining regular season games under interim coach David Adelman. This perfect finish secured a 3rd consecutive 50-win season and the 4th seed in the Western Conference, giving Denver home court advantage in their first-round playoff series against the Los Angeles Clippers. Kroenke's timing has left many questioning whether this was truly about improving the team's playoff chances or if personal conflicts drove the decision. The Nuggets vice chairman claimed he made the move with the hope of kind of rejuvenating the energy of the group and reestablishing some positive thoughts before the playoffs. Adding another layer to this drama, Kroenke shared a personal anecdote about how difficult the day of the firings was for him. Last Tuesday was the craziest Tuesday that I could have ever imagined. I had the worst morning that I've had in over 10 years with the Nuggets, followed by the most amazing afternoon I could have ever asked for with the Arsenal Football Club, Kroenke said, referencing his family's ownership of the English soccer club. We beat Real Madrid 3-0 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. On a human level, that was a rough Tuesday for me. It was all over the place.
In their quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we're going into Spain this week, with a chance to advance. They need to stay focused. They got a lot of things that they're dealing with too, but on a human level, that was a rough Tuesday for me. It was all over the place.
This comment has drawn particular criticism, as it appeared to equate the emotional impact of firing 2 men who had committed years to his organization with the joy of watching another team he owns win a soccer match. Kroenke also addressed rumors about his relationship with forward Michael Porter Jr., who attended the same college, Missouri, as Kroenke. Reports had suggested Kroenke refused to approve trading Porter, but he firmly denied this. If it wasn't such a serious accusation, I would probably laugh a little harder. I'd say any kind of report that we're not open to trading everybody possible to improve the team is completely false. As for 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, Kroenke indicated he had offered the superstar a chance to discuss the decision after it had already been made. According to Kroenke, Jokic simply responded with a head nod of no. You have a responsibility when you have a player like that, especially, obviously, in his prime. Kroenke said, but I feel an even greater responsibility to the person. I'd be the dumbest guy in basketball if I wasn't asking him for his opinion on certain things. But it's my responsibility to make those decisions for the best of the organization, and I think Jokic understands and respects that. Kroenke has promoted Ben Tenzer to interim GM for the playoff run, but stated he won't begin searching for permanent replacements for Malone and Booth until after the season concludes. When asked if he would hire a new GM before a head coach, Kroenke deflected, "My thoughts aren't there because this season's not over." As the Nuggets prepare to face the Clippers in Game 1 on Saturday, this front office drama threatens to overshadow what should be a promising playoff run. Malone, who spent 10 seasons with Denver and posted the highest winning percentage in franchise history, must now watch from afar as the team he built competes for another championship. What do you think about Kroenke's handling of this situation? Was firing a championship coach with 3 games left in the season a strategic masterstroke or a massive blunder? And how will Malone's dismissal affect Denver's chances of making another deep playoff run? The drama is just beginning as the basketball world waits to see if Kroenke's controversial decision will be vindicated or condemned by the Nuggets' postseason performance.
Jason Tatum can play. He's all right. I'm not going to bash him, but Ben Simmons need to be all right. 250 for that.
NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal recently criticized former first overall pick Ben Simmons on The Big Podcast with comedian Roy Wood Jr. O'Neal didn't hold back, delivering a harsh assessment of the Los Angeles Clippers guard. No one expected this. Ben Simmons needs to be F-king arrested, O'Neal said in a moment of unfiltered candor that immediately went viral. $250 million for that Bulls tee. Get the FK out of my face. Robbing people, man. You can't do that. Shaquille O'Neal's harsh criticism has sparked a heated debate on social media and sports talk shows about player value, responsibility, and the changes in the modern NBA.
Like Ben Simmons,
Okay.
he need to be arrested.
What about like a Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum can play. He's all right. I'm not going to bash him, but Ben Simmons need to be all right. 250 for that.
Arrested, did you say?
Arrested. $250 million for that. The f*** out my face. Robbing people, man. Can't do that.
The Hall of Famer's comments were part of a broader critique of today's NBA, which he believes has deteriorated significantly from the era in which he dominated. People get mad. It's just a product of what I've seen, O'Neal explained. I've seen what greatness is, been there, played with them. I don't see that all the time over here. So, you want me to give these motherfuckers the same props you giving them? That ST will never happen. You can call it hate if you want.
Probably Morpheus going in, but people get mad. It's just a product of what I see. I've seen what greatness is. Been there, played with them. I don't see that all the time over here. So you want me to give these the same props I'm giving them? That will never happen. So you can call it hate if you want.
O'Neal's criticism of Simmons comes against the backdrop of the guard's well-documented career trajectory. After being selected first overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2016 NBA Draft, Simmons initially lived up to his potential, winning Rookie of the Year honors and earning 3 consecutive All-Star selections. This promising start led to a massive $170 million contract extension with Philadelphia in 2019, setting expectations that Simmons has struggled to meet in subsequent seasons. Since then, Simmons' career has been plagued by injuries and diminishing returns. He missed the entire 2021-22 season while dealing with both physical and mental health challenges before being traded to the Brooklyn Nets as part of the blockbuster deal that sent James Harden to Philadelphia. His tenure in Brooklyn was similarly disappointing, with sporadic appearances and statistics that paled in comparison to his Philadelphia prime. Now with the Clippers, after being bought out by the Nets earlier this year, Simmons has appeared in just 17 games, averaging a meager 3.6 points and 3.4 assists in 17.5 minutes per contest, numbers that hardly justify his hefty salary. According to SpotTrack, Simmons has already earned over $203 million in his NBA career through 2024, a figure that seems to particularly incense O'Neal. What makes O'Neal's comments especially significant is his position as one of the NBA's most respected voices and his role on TNT's wildly popular Inside the NBA program. While O'Neal and his co-host Charles Barkley are known for their unvarnished opinions, this attack on Simmons represents an escalation in rhetoric that few saw coming. O'Neal acknowledged that he and Barkley have been criticized for calling out the modern game, but remains steadfast in his assessment that the product is ST compared to previous eras. Interestingly, O'Neal conceded that certain current stars met his standards of excellence. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, and Damian Lillard can play, O'Neal noted, providing a short list of players he believes could have thrived in any era. This selective praise makes his condemnation of Simmons all the more pointed, singling out the former number one pick as a primary example of what he sees as wrong with today's game. The timing of O'Neal's criticism coincides with Simmons' recent comments about feeling more at home in Los Angeles than he did in Brooklyn. Feels like home, honestly, Simmons told the New York Post in late March. I never really felt like New York was home for me. Being in LA, I feel like me as a person. It's my kind of scenery, or environment to be in. I think I thrive in situations like that. These remarks, suggesting a preference for lifestyle over basketball impact, may have further fueled O'Neal's frustration with the player. O'Neal's assessment also touches on a broader conversation about player empowerment and accountability in the modern NBA. When stars like Simmons sign massive contracts but fail to deliver consistent value, whether due to injuries, performance, or other factors,